to Bad Larry.
What's up, everyone, and welcome to the Bad Larry Kingdom. I'm your host, Bad Larry, and in today's episode, we are reviewing the Fantastic Four, issue number 323, part 27 of the Inferno series. This issue is dated February of 1989 and written by Steve Englehart and drawn by Keith Pollard. The Inferno series has many tie-in books, so even though there are 39 parts in total, every part is not linear, but the same story told through all these different characters' perspectives. Now, let's rate that cover. I rated this cover an 88%. It's a try-hard. Keith Pollard, I feel, did his best. He has a central character anchoring the cover, lots of movement and detailed background elements, and the colors are vibrant. The few drawbacks is simply in style, in my opinion. Keith Pollard's art is reminiscent of the early 60s style, which was fine for back then, but the art evolved, it got better. I feel Keith stayed stuck in that 60s style when compared to other titles in the series. It seems outdated. Also, if you look super duper hard at the bottom, the title reads Orphan of the Storm, but the coloring of the is black and you can't really see it, so it looks like Orphan Storm, which in my opinion is a fail. The audience needs to fall in love with that cover to be forced to pick it up and read the contents inside. Although this cover gets a B+, I still find it lacking. Looking at the team here walking the streets, you might wonder, what the heck is this? Why are there two things, and why is there only 3 here and not 4? So many questions. Well, check out my Inferno playlist, part 8, where I covered this version of the Fantastic Four in more detail. But the nuts and bolts of it are, the thing on the left, the lighter, more covered up thing, is a lady thing, or she thing. She was Miss Marvel and then morphed into this lady thing, and will eventually transform back into a humanoid-looking female later on. On the right, the more rocky thing, is the original thing, Ben Grimm. He apparently is becoming more rocky in his exterior, but basically the same old thing, but a bit stronger. And if you happen to watch my Avengers 300 episode, you will know that Mr. Fantastic and Invisible Woman have now become members of the Avengers. I believe that by 1989, the readers and writers of both Fantastic Four and Avengers wanted to mix up these traditional characters and teams and costumes. Many of these characters or teams never saw a change for over 25 years. So in this time period, the late 80s, this was Marvel's attempt to freshen up these characters and teams for the audience. She-Thing, Human Torch, and OG-Thing are walking the streets of New York City basically looking for something to do when they hear a commotion. It is the Mantis being attacked by parking meters. You might ask me, Bad Larry, is that the same Mantis from Guardians of the Galaxy? The answer is yes. It is the same character, technically. This comic version, her antennae are less creepy looking, her powers are more telepathy based, while she does have some empathy elements to her abilities in the comics. However, the movie version made her look personality and powers way off the mark, focusing solely on her empathy powers, covering her up from head to toe and making her antennae and eyes more weird and creepy. I'm not saying the movies had to fully embrace this super sexy outfit she wears here in the comics, but come on, it's not even close. I think it's funny, the fighting style of Mantis here. She proclaims to be a martial arts expert using the karate chop. Remember, back in the late 70s and 80s, karate was the shit! Everyone was wanting to be a kung fu master, which is why Iron Fist was a huge success when he was created in 1977. Karate Kid had come out in 1984, just a few years before this comic, and was a huge success. Bruce Lee changed the culture around fighting style in movies and in comics, so anytime writers in the 70s or 80s didn't know how to have a character fight, like if they didn't have any powers, they usually opted for some karate style fighting. This page here is the attempt to fulfill the tie-in requirement to the Inferno saga. 4 panels of these characters fighting possessed inanimate objects, all parking meters. It feels like a phone-in to me, elementary. They could have all been fighting different types of inanimate objects at least. This was probably so cool back then, focusing on the martial arts, punching and kicking, With the introduction of modern MMA, though, do you think these martial arts fighting styles are still valid? Let me know down in the comments below. I think it is hilarious that Mantis speaks in the third person, never saying I, me, or my, and her vocabulary usage makes the thing looks like a real imbecile. I am amazed he can understand what she's saying with her using all these 10-cent words like superfluous. Anyway, Mantis went through some space ordeals where she lost her memory, she got it back, lost her son, and needs to get back to space to sort some stuff out. We see Human Torch still has a problem flaming off. The Inferno events have caused the transformation and mutation of earthly things to become demonically possessed. Demons love fire. I think this is why it's hard for Johnny to flame off. The atmosphere is too charged and prefers his fire form, and I think his body is also trying to protect him from the intense heat of the environment by staying in flame on form. An interesting character, the Baldy, is called Aaron, and he belongs to the race of Watchers and is accompanied by Dragon Man, who does not speak. And Aaron really wants to interfere in the situation affecting Manhattan right now. A formless figure is now spying on Aaron and Dragon Man. I wonder who that could be. The last time we saw Kang, he was being filtered away from our timeline. Now he is back in his little circle ship, also spying, but this time on the Fantastic Four and Mantis. And boy, this guy has it out for the Mantis. He wants to take revenge on her, whatever that means. Here we find out that Kang we saw in Avengers 300, the one that phased out, well, that wasn't the real Kang. He was a doppelganger. Kang's new plan is to steal a celestial weapon that is locked in time sometime between 2005 and 2020. It is crazy to think that someone back then reading this in 1989, they would think that 2020 is light years away, and to us now, it is the distant past. Time is a funny entity. We learn that Mantis was chosen to be the Celestial Madonna. She represented Earth's humanity, but was stripped of that power and title. Kang still thinks of her as having said power and plans to use his doohickey technology to drain Mantis of her power and to use it to kill a sleeping celestial located under a mountain in California. Y'all got all that? Okay. As the foursome are casually walking to the Fantastic Four skyscraper, which is on fire, where is the urgency here? Are they really planning to walk into a burning building? It looks like they are just having a leisurely stroll in the park. At this moment, the whole city is cattywampus from the Oster's demonic spells. Anyway, Kang pops up out of nowhere and fires his laser beams at the foursome. Sorry, vibrational beams and paralysis rays. Very 80s, guys. I can't get out of the paralysis ray. It's got me fair and square. Okay, the sheet thing can't move. She is stuck in the paralysis ray, but Mantis can move because she is a master of her body, because she's a master of martial arts. Right. But she is moving hecka slow enough for Kang to snatch her up and drop a big golden mech pill on the ground. Kang tells the thing, oh no, too slow, you're an ugly fellow, and totally disappears, gone, pasta la vista. In a fit of rage, the thing tosses the golden mech pill completely off planet as it explodes in the vacuum of space. I mean, fire in space? At this point, we all know fire cannot exist in the vacuum of space, but hey, it's the late 80s. It is what it is. Fun fiction. The thing's latest mutation, which gives him that super extra rocky exterior, was the ticket that allowed him the extra strength to throw that bomb into outer space. Nice. What kind of heroes are these Fantastic Four supposed to be? Human Torch says, F New York City, and plans to head to California to find the sleeping celestial under the mountain. What the F, guys? Hello, New York City still needs your help. Yeah, Mantis is gone, but she's one person. The entire city has gone bananas and still needs every hero it can take. Man, I do not like this, the Fantastic Four abandoning New York City to try and save this one Mantis chick. Kang just realizes that Mantis has no celestial powers anymore and is kind of pissed. Kang plans to just hold Mantis hostage until the time he kills the sleeping celestial and then kill her as a prize. As Human Torch flies farther away from Manhattan, the epicenter of the Inferno event, he feels he's gaining more and more control over his flame. Remember that mystery leering figure spying on Aaron and Dragon Man? Well, it looks to be forming more into a figure, some witchy-looking ghost figure. We don't know who it is. We're not going to find out this episode. We may never find out. Kang has made it to the doorway of the sleeping Celestial. Wow, could they have hidden it a bit better, right? Will the Fantastic Four make it in there in time to stop Kang before he kills Mantis and maybe even himself going after the Celestial? The two things have caught up to Kang and blast his paralysis ray gun, pissing Kang off, but Kang has more weapons such as this blast ray. But they seem to have little effect on the mutated thing. With his newly acquired mighty strength, the thing picks up Kang's entire ship and smashes it to the ground like a Christmas ornament. Kang is confused and a little impressed by the thing's newfound strength. Kang has fought the Fantastic Four many times before and has never known the thing to be this strong. Kang activates some suction device sucking up the She-Thing to the hull of the ship and threatens the thing he better surrender or Kang is going to take She-Thing out for a little space ride, see if she can breathe out in space where there's no oxygen. Out of nowhere, a fire burst hits the suction cannon, freeing She-Thing from Kang's ship. The Human Torch feels so good in the crisp, clean air. He's about to throttle Kang's ship when, he's going supernova! His flame is too high, he's out of control. Oh my goodness, Human Torch looks like he's just gonna explode himself. What the heck? The Human Torch's limp body falls to the earth, creating a distraction for Kang, but also a distraction for Mantis, who has slipped her cage and flew the coop. I gave this issue a rating of 70 out of 100, a C-. I feel it barely tied in with the Inferno saga, just with the heroes fighting the parking meters, but that's really it. The art and the layout was 20 years dated. The character Mantis looked like she belonged in the early 60s, and the book seemed a bit corny and clunky. The cliffhanger, though, at the end was excellent. The Fantastic Four issue is this last issue in the Inferno series, so we won't know what happened to old Johnny Storm unless you guys ask me to do a follow-up Fantastic Four issue down in the comments below. The next episode, part 28 in the Inferno series, we head back to Daredevil, the Man Without Fear, issue number 265. Thanks for all the support. Hit that like button, and until next time, peace.